This is a recording of the last of the Forerunners. Our cities are overrun. The alien parasites have taken the majority of the Earth. This was our last stronghold. We have sealed the remainder of our people inside of bunkers and put them in cryostasis. Hopefully they will survive what is to come. We have constructed a giant ring in space, a halo if you will, and by activating it, we will purge the universe of all parasites and aliens, and then our people will emerge once more. Unfortunately, that's kind of what the plot of this movie is, but unfortunately this isn't Halo, this is Elysium, the newest Neil Blomkamp thriller. Now, maybe people didn't like that opening. I thought it was kind of funny. But let's get into the plot. So, Elysium is basically the most racist movie ever made, ironically enough. It is basically a white supremacist film. Now, there's an ongoing kind of joke, particularly in kind of edgy circles, that white people have an urge to save people with no agency. Agency is basically the ability to be responsible for yourself, to be an autonomous adult who's morally accountable, who can act with logic and reason, etc. And that when white people see people without agency, they just innately have to go and save them. And this is kind of a recurring theme throughout our history. Like the civilizing mission was based on the thought that the primitives around the world didn't have agency, and so it was our job to basically civilize them. And you see this throughout movies where you just have some like Hispanics or something running around shooting each other, and then the white guy comes in and he has agency and he like gets them to stop fighting and he kind of just takes over. And this movie kind of takes that and puts it up to steroids. So let's get into the movie. So in 2154, Earth is overpopulated and polluted. Most of the Earth's citizens live in poverty on the edge of starvation with little technology and medical care. Now, how did it get to be this way? The story takes place in, I think it's Los Angeles. As you can see from the picture, it looks like hell. Or actually, it doesn't really look like hell. It looks suspiciously like most Latin American countries. Now, that's kind of odd. Why would an American city look like the slums of Brazil or Venezuela? I don't know. Could it be that the people from those countries moved to America and they acted the same as they did in their home countries? And rather than improving the economy, they just turned America into a copy of what they came from? But I thought it was a lack of economic opportunity. I thought it was oppression. So what this movie is ironically enough saying is and this is the irony, is this movie's clearly left wing, and this is clearly like supposed to be about like the New World Order and white people destroying the earth. But at face value, they're basically saying, yeah, that the mestizos came in and was the result. So Trump was right. This is the kind of like dystopian destroyed future that like people on Stormfront and like the most radical white nationalists wouldn't even dare portray. So the remainder of humanity that's not complete shit live on an orbiting space station called Elysium, which has a gigantic terraformed space habitat located in Earth's orbit. And this is evil for some reason. Who built Elysium? Well, the people who live on it built it. Did they steal from the people on the planet to build it? No, I don't really get any. I don't get any real feeling from that. It seems to me that Elysium was built by the remnants of civilized humanity who didn't want to put up with the bullshit anymore, and they left. People are always complaining about white people. They're always like, they're just so bad. So white people left. They went to live in an orbiting space station. But that's not enough because they have to chase the last white person down. In this world, they literally gave all the white majority countries to the third world hordes. They gave them all their money, they gave them all their land, they gave them all their power, and they just immediately destroyed it, and then they just demanded more. And white people have basically, and it's funny because the head of Elysium is actually Indian, but so it's more of just kind of like a civilized, non just third world shithole coalition. There's probably a lot of Chinese people there too, and Japanese who are just like, fuck this. Then again, Japan might still be around because they're pretty based and they probably wouldn't let this bullshit happen. But yeah, so we gave them everything. And no, they have to like fucking invade this space station. It's outer space. It's not like they took it from anyone. They literally just built it. They left the planet behind, and giving the entire planet to these people isn't enough. So Elysium has advanced med bays, which can cure all diseases, reverse the aging process, and regenerate new body parts. So let's see here. A long-running feud exists between the wealthy residents of Elysium and the citizens of Earth who want Elysium technology to cure their medical ailments. Well, maybe it's just not practical to mass produce. Maybe it requires too much electricity. Maybe it requires like fusion plants. Maybe it only works in outer space. Maybe fusion only works in outer space. There could be very good technical reasons for it. I mean, it could use some like rare earth metal, and they could only make a couple dozen of them. I mean, I'm sure there's a pretty straightforward explanation. Plus, why the hell do they have to share it? They're like a couple thousand people. They left the Earth behind, but no, it's not enough. They have to like invade a sovereign state and steal their shit. It kind of reminds me of Ayn Rand's like Atlas Shrugged. Like you got the people, they're living in Galt's Gulch, they're gone. Society hated them and they left, but no, they have to be chased down. So let's see here. So the main character, Max DaCosta, the last white man in America, a former car thief on parole. Oh, what a great role model for society. Lives in the ruins of Los Angeles. It's not really the ruins, it's just Los Angeles. It's just what it is. It's like you don't say the ruins of Rio, you don't say the ruins of Caracas. It's just what those countries are like. Who runs a company by John Carlyle, who originally designed Elysium and now supplies its weaponry, as well as the robots that police Earth. Oh no, robots that police Earth? It's so bad. It's probably the only reason like there's still people alive. Otherwise, everyone would kill each other. How dare they pay people to work in their factories? So he is hit by a lethal dose of radiation and is informed he has 5 days to live before succumbing to radiation poisoning. Desperate for a cure, him and his friend Julio seek help from a human smuggler named Spider to get him to Elysium. His only chance for survival is using a med bay. So we have these crappy spaceships that try to attack Elysium, so people can illegally immigrate into it and steal its resources or use its medical technology. And Elysium's portrayed as evil for shooting them down because we can't have borders. Even in space, you can't have borders. Just because you build something and paid for it and continue to pay for it and continue to operate it doesn't mean you have any right to it. So in a sense, him being a car thief, he shouldn't have been arrested for being a car thief because cars belong to all of humanity. So yeah, Jodie Foster shoots them down. When two of the shuttles are shot down in space with everyone aboard, the third shuttle makes it to Elysium, but everyone on board is either killed, arrested, or deported. The Elysian president, who's some Indian guy, reprimands her for immoral and unsubtle methods and threatens to fire her unless she tones it down. Well, what else are they supposed to do? I mean, like, what would happen if they let everyone come to Elysium? I mean, the movie states it. This is what happened to Los Angeles. It's a fifth world shithole where people work for slave wages at companies that spray radiation on them. This is the future we wanted. This is what diversity looks like. So we're going to bring this shit to the last place on Earth that actually is a civilization. So Spider agrees to get Max to Elysium if he can steal financial information from Carlyle. Spider's men surgically attach a powered exoskeleton to Max. Let's see here. So Max shoots down Carlyle's ship, and in the ensuing firefight with Carlyle's security droids, Carlyle is fatally wounded. Max downloads the program that controls the financial information to his neural implant. The encryption makes it unusable. Alerted by the data theft, the Jodie Foster sends what's his name again? Charlton Copley, who's from A-Team and was the main character in District 9. to go and kill Max and retrieve the program. Julio's killed and Max is wounded. He reaches out to his childhood friend, the mestiza Frey, now a nurse, whose daughter has leukemia. Frey begs Max to take her to Elysium so she can be cured. So, like, what we're seeing here is Max is going to be a hero that saves humanity. Interestingly enough, it's a heterosexual white male who's going to save humanity. For all this film's progressiveness, it kind of realizes the person who has agency and the person who's going to fix it. I mean, like, what is it that they want to do? They want to get the heterosexual white male to go and save the people without agency, to go to a planet populated largely by white people to steal stuff from them. Where does this involve any kind of empowerment on behalf of the mixed masses? Where does this have diversity being our strength? This is basically a white guy having to save brown people by stealing shit from other white people. Why don't we have some like great mestizo scientist who figures this out? Why don't we have some like Eurasian? No, that's not diverse enough. That's too like civilized. Why don't we have some like Zambino or whatever they call half blacks, half natives? Why don't we have one of them do it? No. So they have to get Max to do it. So there's like a big fight scene. No one really cares. And then they succeed in stealing a ship and head towards Elysium. Let's see here. After Kruger's ship crashes, is the guy they sent to kill him. Let's see here. So they get arrested and they're taken to Jodie Foster, who orders the download of the program, despite the fact that it will kill Max. After being restored in a mid-bay by his lackeys Drake and Crow, the guy they sent to kill Max kills Jodie Foster after she chastises him for his recklessness. The guy then killed the Elysian political officers in order to seize control for themselves. This is just some random side plot. No one gives a shit. Max escapes, knowing that the med bays only work for Elysian citizens. Resolves to use Carlisle's program to give everyone on Earth Elysian citizenship. Because that's how citizenship works. It has nothing to do with blood. The irony, though, is how can you even tell if a society is diverse or not if blood doesn't matter? If it doesn't exist, if race doesn't exist, if ethnicity didn't exist, then Mexico would be no more diverse, or Brazil would be no more diverse than like Iceland. Because everyone's the same, why do we need to bring people here? Because it's already diverse. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's no genetic diversity, then a group of people from if that doesn't exist, then a group of people from Iceland are just as diverse as like a Chinese guy, people from different parts of Africa, and that Latino. So so he rescues the mestiza and her daughter. He kills some other people. He heads for Elysium Core, but is ambushed by a guy now equipped with a much better exoskeleton. In the ensuing fight, Max succeeds in killing the other guy. So they reach Elysium's core. Spider realizes that the program's activation will kill Max. Max activates the program, saying goodbye to the mestiza. As Max dies, Elysium Core reboots and registers every citizen on Earth as an Elysian citizen. And then they basically make everyone who's on Elysium an illegal alien, because that's how they feel. It's so that they can know what it's like to live in a society where they don't belong. Except the people on Earth didn't live in Elysium. So the movie ends with all of Elysium's resources being sent to Earth. How like a couple medical ships are going to be able to cure like 8 billion people, I don't know. They're just going to have to do that. And this kind of like is kind of, as I said, it's a white supremacist movie. It's a white guy stealing technology from other white people to go save people with no agency. Like, why do they need this technology, as I said? Why can't some Latino invent it? Why can't the people of the sun make it? Why can't some, like, African guy from Congo make it? Why do they have to go to like and steal this shit? It's kind of funny, and it's like, well, diversity turned the world into a fifth world shithole. Um, why would anyone want to go along with any of this? And in essence, it kind of is. It kind of reminds me of like the Turner Diaries or something like that. Like it kind of feels like the most radical, it's happening white nationalist thing, and I think it's supposed to be left winged, but it comes across as like something written by the most hysterical, like extreme white nationalist. It's literally just this kind of thing that like only white people have agency, only white people can even invent things, only white people can build things, etc. Um, it's substantially way more extreme than I am. I mean, I doubt a lot of Asian countries would let the world get to this state. I can't see Japan ever letting like the third world masses invade their country and turn it to a fifth world hellhole. Nor can I see Korea. China, for all of its many problems, would not let in masses of Hispanic and black immigrants. They just wouldn't. So, in a sense, this is just kind of more radical than me. So the movie's pretty bad. It's kind of funny. Let's see here. Neil Blomkamp said, "I feel I fucked up. I feel like ultimately the story is not the right story. I still think the satirical idea of a ring filled with rich people hovering above the impoverished earth is an awesome idea. It just wasn't a good enough film. No, I think, dude, you kind of subconsciously created something. And it's ironic that he's South African, because this is kind of what South Africa was like. It was this just fucking cesspool that the Afrikaans took over, and they made it into the most developed country in Africa. And the development wasn't just for the white people in South Africa. Black South Africans had the highest life expectancy, the best education, the highest average income, the best access to schooling, medical care, the best policing, the lowest crime rates of any sub-Saharan African population. And then they kicked those people out, and then the country immediately went to shit. And they won't let the white South Africans leave because they still run the economy. And they hate them, and they say, well, you guys never should have come here. But they won't let them leave anyways. So that's my reactionary review of Elysium. It's as I said, the most white supremacist film ever made. This is Argent Templar signing out.